Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone Talks. Yeah, it's going to be me talking, but let me tell you a little story first, right? So the wife, obviously, she goes and does a bit of shopping here and there, and she came in a couple of days ago, and she got attacked by a chihuahua, right? And you should see the size of the bruise on her face. I was trying to make that story funny, but because Ted is actually irritating again because of the fireworks, it's not as funny as it was supposed to be. But welcome everybody to the Tardis Zone. Sorry about Ted in the background. It's fireworks, the closer it gets to Halloween, the more, yeah.
Well, you butchered that story.
I know, yeah. Well, I can't concentrate when I have a dog crying, so but we'll do the shout outs anyway. So we got Daniel, problem being Chris is in the chat. We've got Mazwan in the chat, we've got Carl in the chat. Disaster area, the adventuring nerd. I know he's it's ridiculous now because this is what has to happen, right? I either have to leave the room or Cheryl has to leave the room, and then he gets all upset because one of us has left the room. It doesn't make any sense, but then he calms down. James Dawson is also in the chat. Welcome. Teddy, that's your fault. See, she's gone because, yeah, I know, no, that's what happens. Now he's upset. See? He's upset. It's okay, buddy. It's all right. I'm live, pal. Buddy. By the way, interesting article was thrown up by Az last night on his account. I'm going to show you the actual article because obviously this article has caused a little bit of a stir because of the nature and the content of the article. And I have to say... Oh, these people are crazy. Do you know what? It just gets worse. So apparently, right now, apparently, if this article is to be believed, you are now racist. Yeah, you are now racist, especially if you're actually sorry. I'll say if you are white and you own a dog. You are now a racist, and you should hand your dog over to a family that isn't white. Yeah, I cannot make this stuff up. I'm looking for this article to read to you. It was put up last night, so I have to go through. Here we go. Why white people owning dogs is racist. United Wildlife. So for anybody out there that was, asking me, Noel, do you think you might have been had, or is this article, of this world? Is this person for real? Well, here it is here for everybody, right? So the author is KD6. He's a father of two and a lifelong lifelong conservativeness, wherever you're bleeding. And when not committing time to the local zoo, Caden spends most of his time creating and decimating educational materials for schools that help kids understand why protecting animals and the LGBTQIA plus rights are so important. And this article, as I said, is on that United Wildlife. So let's read this. Let's just get straight into it. So it says, way back in time, almost 12,500 years ago, the first canines were becoming domesticated. Through toil and hardship, people had earned the trust of our now beloved friends, the best friends, I should say. The symbiotic relationship between dog and woman was very groundbreaking, as humans had never been this close to an animal before. Humans would provide shelter and care for dogs, and in turn, the dogs would hunt and fetch firewood for humans. The reason I'm detailing this history for you is so everyone understands the importance of the events that took place all these years ago. So let me get this straight, you twat. Because, humans back in the day domesticated animals, you have a problem with white people on animals now because we're all a bunch of slavers. Got it. Yeah, this is what he's saying. Listen, his name is KD6.
Wait, in the chat?
No, this is an article I'm reading.
Oh, an article.
Yes, right, and he says he's a father of two, and when he's not committing to the local zoo, he spends his time creating and decimating educational materials for local schools that help kids understand why protecting animals and the LGBTQIA plus rights are so important.
Wait, why are, just out of curiosity,
I'm reading the article.
but why are we immediately lumping together animals and the LGBTQ?
Well, we'll find out if you let me read the article.
It's a weird segue.
Right, so where are we? Right, so humans would provide shelter. Did I read this already? See, I don't know. Right, humans would provide shelter and care for dogs, and in turn, the dog. Yeah, I did. I read that. Why have I scrolled down? Oh yeah, because right. So what actually happened? Right, shortly after the Cheryl, could you give me a hand with this word, please? Because if this is in the whole article, I need a help.
Where? Eurasian.
Eurasian people worked so hard to train and bond with wolves. Most of them were shipped off and given to Europeans. These filthy white savages took the work and credit from the Eurasian people and branded them magnificent creatures as their own. So let me get this straight, you moron. Because, white people back in the day happened to be, a little bit savage and took these animals. This is your reason. This is your reason, is it? You moron. Right, let's read the rest of this from this moron. By the way, he's a bloke as well. I'm ashamed of my gender.
How long was I out of the room?
Anyway, so the need for white people to claim pre-made or pre-discovered things is not isolated to just this incident. Countless times in history, whites have been caught stealing the work of talent of people of color for their own success. Honestly speaking, we shouldn't be surprised that white people would steal the domestication of dogs as well. He's white himself. You fucking moron. You're white yourself, you little fucking... Just because you have some sort of fucking guilt complex because of what fucking people did hundreds of fucking thousands of years ago, you moron. Get a fucking brain cell. How does this affect us right now? Let's see what the moron says. If you are white and you own a dog, you are openly participating and advocating for cultural appropriation and colonialism. Reinforcing this culture is not acceptable and will come with its repercussions. Dogs are and always will be a living reminder of how tainted our history is as a whole. People of color deserve to exclusively own dogs as a form of restitution for their stolen ancestors' work. You fucking moron! So we have to hand over our dogs because of what white ancestors did thousands of years ago. Sit down, you piece of shit. I'm not giving up my dog for nobody, you fucking Chad. Right? Supporting the idea of white dog ownership is spitting on the grave of past people of color generations. I don't give a shit if it is. Right? I don't give a shit if that's what's in your head, you moron, and that's what you think it is. It's not. With International Dog Day coming up, it is important we remember and advocate for the work of people of colour and never let this unbalanced history be forgotten. If you are white and you own a canine, please consider donating them to a local PLC family and non-kill shelter so they can truly find the perfect home. And here's the photograph of the moron. As you can see, he clearly is a millennial, hippie, loving, feckin' yoke, this is the type of asshole, just like the other idiot that goes around telling us about the climate change and stuff. These idiots here, they're all from the same ilk. Imagine telling us that, we're a bunch of racists because, what our ancestors did. Now, I told you this wasn't fake. These are the kind of morons we have in society right now. These are the kind of morons that are getting a voice, okay? And these are the kind of morons that we've got to stop. Imagine that. I'm sorry, I know some of you find this article hard to believe because it's out there, but this is the thing. Don't be laughing it off. This is for real. He's basically saying if you own a dog and you're a white person, we have to hand their dogs over. This is the kind of stuff. And by the way, it always starts off with an article. Remember that. It always starts off with someone actually saying something, right? And then what happens then? Other people latch onto that and then other people start talking about it. And then before you know it then, it becomes then a thing. So we need to be very, 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 aware and alert of these kind of articles because they're very dangerous. They're very, very dangerous. That man, because he works in the zoo, right? He works in a zoo. You're slaving animals anyway yourself, you moron. And Ted is more than an animal to me, right? Ted is not just a canine. Ted is like me son, right? He's a member of this family, yeah? He doesn't go around fetching shit for me, right? We don't get him to go to the shop with us. Right, we fetch for him, right? I don't put a carrier bag in his mouth and say, come on, little slave, let's go down to the shop. No. Never owned a slave in my life, whether canine or human. Get over your fucking self.
So quick answer, Daniel. Yes, I am okay. I was literally walking in the front door to come into the shop, or from the shop, and she was walking out, and the dog just growled and jumped up and bit me right on the calf. So at the current moment, I have about a fist-sized giant bruise and a little bitty bite marks. But yes, I am okay. Thanks for asking.
Cool. We might as well do a few, because there's a few people in the chat since I read that article. But what do you think, guys? Anyway, I'll throw you our comments up. Let me know what you think. So we got Matthew Pounder, who's joined us in the chat. We've got Mr. CCDV is here as well. Nice to see him. Monster Fan is here. Elaine is here. The Rabbi is here as well. Welcome. Imagine, man. Imagine. Oh, Pop Culture Avenger is here as well. Imagine we're all a bunch of slavers now because we own dogs. This is getting ridiculous. Call me Mr. Rook is here as well, or Rook, wherever which way you want to pronounce. I pronounce it Rook. It's because we're Irish. We always say things like tree. You know, we get slagged for that, but there you go. That's the third doctor is here as well. But listen, I mean, look, I know you can't stop people from having other opinions, but this starts off as an opinion and it becomes an idea, and this is where we need to be drawing the line. What I know, people will say, well, we can't be really, policing free speech because then it's not really free speech. But when you clearly have morons like that fella, you're telling me that in that case it would be best to censor an asshole like that, a dangerous idiot that tells us we're slaves because we own a dog. In that case, I would have no problem in a moron like that being censored. Right? Seriously, I'm sick and tired of this ridiculousness. We're getting. Do you notice something, right? Do you notice something with everything that's happening in the world? Do you notice something that white people are being made to feel guilty for stuff that happened in the past, right? Okay, I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry that white people back in the day, our ancestors were a bunch of assholes. Truly am, right? But it's not my problem now because I don't treat anybody like that, and the majority of the world don't treat people like that, right? So I mean, like, get a grip. You know what I mean? Get a grip. Sort out what you need to sort out and get a fucking grip. Sick of all of this article, and then next we'll be told. Next we'll be told if we wear a certain color shoe, we're racist. If we wear white runners, we're racist. Be some mad crap like that next. That's how ridiculous it's getting. Seriously. Absolutely, absolutely crazy. And I'm telling you, like, these people just keep going and going. I can't wait until the next Whopper article from that moron, because I'm sure it's going to be a Whopper. But I'm telling you, it's absolutely laughable. But at the same time, as I said, this kind of thinking is dangerous. This is the radical left gone crazy. And we all laughed at them. This is the thing. A few years back, we were all laughing, thinking that all this stuff that they were talking about would never happen. And we thought, the people are not that crazy to follow suit. But look what's happened. The last few years, especially, this madness has just gotten worse and worse. And I'm telling you, you can laugh about the dog thing. Something else will come out, and then people won't be laughing. And that's the thing. Yeah, these kind of things need to be spoke about. They need to be highlighted. If I'm correct in saying, I think Az has actually done a video also on this topic. I would go and suggest that you go and watch his video a little later on, obviously after you've watched this stream, and go and check out and see what he has to say. I'll be checking out myself. I mean, look, as I said, I mean, when does this madness end? It's absolutely ridiculous. And we see the behavior of the radical left, their supporters, and they're not very nice people at all. It's yeah. So yeah, I mean, there you go. Dogs are now, if you're a dog owner and you're white, you're clearly a racist. So congratulations. Hope you are all happy with yourselves. I know it must be hard to find out that you're a racist after all this time, but at least you know now. At least you know now. The hypocrisy though, he works in a zoo and animals are in captivity. I don't know where people stand on animals being in zoos anyway, but for me personally, Yeah, don't get me wrong, as a kid, it's great to see all these animals, but then when you think about it, they should be out in the wild, so he's a bit of a hypocrite as well. And I know some zoos are out there to preserve some animal species because they need to be preserved, and I agree with that, those species. But we actually put animals in zoos that aren't endangered, and we shouldn't. They're wild animals, they should be free. So the fact that that moron works in a zoo, you know. We got the Thing King here as well. Welcome. Yeah, you're going to be cancelled. You're going to be cancelled. Right, let's see if there's anything actually. See if there's any. Let's change the subject a little bit for a second. Right, Screen Rant have an article that they threw up a day ago, but because we've been all so busy with all of the. Because we've been so busy. Hold on, is there something underneath my chair? Is that why you're growling? Oh, you want me to lift you up? Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Okay. I'm live. Hang on. Come here to me. There you go. Right, now. Good boy. I wish everybody could see it on the camera, but they can't. Right, hold on. Wait. I have to share the screen. Are you giving out to me? The co-host Ted is here, but he doesn't realize that the camera is not on. Yeah, and he's doing his usual business. But, so I'm just going to share this article. Right, so as you can see there from the article, Doctor Who's timeless child retcon can explain Force Doctor's acting slip-ups. So they're criticising William Hartnell's. So if Screen Rant can't go any lower, they've certainly have. Now, I've been accused of a bit of hypocrisy because I gave out about these idiots for the article that they put out when Chadwick Boseman died. And they said how the Black Panther franchise could move on without him. And they took it down because obviously it was in poor taste. But they have one article where they talk about the problems of Doctor Who, and then they have one where they basically slam Jodie Whittaker. And because I put that up, apparently I'm a hypocrite. Listen, I'm not a hypocrite. There are some good articles that come out of Screen Rant, just like Digital Spy and others. They just have a lot of woke journalists there, but one or two articles always do seem to get through. Yes, I will always criticize Screen Rant for their behaviour in certain times. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to read the articles, and actually if they write a good article, I'm going to highlight a good article, and if they write a bad article like now, I'm going to highlight it. But again, an attack on Classic Who from this newspaper or this digital yoke, and this one is by Joe Simpson. And he says, William Hartnell, the Fourth Doctor, was famous for flubbing his lines, but Doctor Who's recent Timeless Child arc offers a possible explanation. Well, the reason why he was fluffing these lines is because the man was sick, you moron. Oh, right, let's read this rubbish. William Hartnell, the Fourth Doctor, was famous for flubbing his lines, but Doctor Who's recent Timeless Child retcon offers a possible explanation. Originating, yeah, what is now an iconic role. Hartnell's run lasted from 1963 until 1966, with a brief return in the multi-Doctor special, The Three Doctors. His tenure, though brilliant, was beset by health problems, and his increasingly struggled to remember his lines. At the time, the television production was more akin to theatre, and unless the set visibly collapsed, actors would rarely get more than one chance to perform any given scene. As a result, many of Hartnell's slip-ups made it to air, something that the recent Timeless Children arc potentially justifies, if indirectly. So what you're basically doing is Joe, you moron. It's because William Hartnell was sick and because you're trying to flog this timeless child nonsense because BBC have probably given you a mandate. You've tried somehow to link the two. Shut up, you moron. Right? He was sick. He fluffed these lines. So what if some made it onto the screen? Nobody cares, right? The Timeless Children story arc did not do anything indirectly or directly, okay? Fans reject it. Anyway. Right, so let's see actually, can he give an example, right? And let's see how good the example is. In the Doctor Who Season 12 finale, the Master reveals that the Doctor is actually the Timeless Child, a mysterious being with regenerative powers, discovered by a Gallifreyan explorer and painfully experimented on, thus birthing the Time Lords. After extracting the child's DNA, the Time Lords performed a mind wipe to bury the truth about their dubious origins and forced the child to regenerate into a young William Hartnell, as seen in Listen. The Doctor therefore is much older than the audience and the character were initially led to believe, with a number of previously unseen incarnations prior to Hartnell's supposedly First Doctor. There is no supposedly First Doctor. William Hartnell is the First Doctor, and the example you give in Listen actually reinforces our belief that the Doctor has always been a male character, and also we got to see him as a young kid twice, even in David Tennant's era. The Doctor is and always has been a man, and there is no other origin, right? The Timeless Children's a load of bollocks that nobody in the fandom cares about. That's why 7 million households walked away. They do not, they reject this. And by the way, you forgot to put in the fact that Tiktoyum actually murdered the child multiple times without even the aunt, made the child regenerate, not knowing if that child would actually regenerate. So therefore, she didn't know whether she was going to murder or keep that child alive, but you've left her out. The Timeless Child reveal could potentially provide an in-universe explanation for Hartnell's floodlines. No, no, no. They're the result of blotched mind wipe. No. While the method of memory erasure used by the Time Lords is currently unclear, we can assume that it is a painful process. Whether a mind probe as seen in the Three Doctors or the chameleon arc as used by the 10th Doctor in Human Nature and the Family of Blood. In the latter example, the chameleon arc was not 100% effective. It actually was 100% effective. The only time it didn't work is when the kid opened the actual watch. What you're talking about, it was. He fooled everybody. He was 100% human, you moron. In the latter example, the chameleon arc was not 100% effective, which you are wrong about that, leading to memories leaking through via dreams. Perhaps this is the same process took its toll on the First Doctor's mind, thus explaining Hartnell's occasionally dodgery performance. Go and fuck yourself, Joe. Kiss me arse. This isn't the first time that the revival series writers have offered an in-universe explanation for the classic era production's limitations. In his target novelization of the Day of the Doctor, Stephen Moffat suggests that the first two Doctors were colourblind, given a reason for the show's early seasons to be black and white. I don't mind that. That actually kind of makes sense, you moron. Though many have pointed out that the traditional colourblindness doesn't work that way, which is true. A more extreme condition often reduces the sufferer's vision to see only shades of grey. Though the canonicity of Moffat's suggestion is dubious, acknowledged in the novelization rather than the TV show proper, yet nobody gives a crap. Nobody gives a crap, Joe, because, Joe, you're actually pulling shit out of thin air. You've actually went and you scraped the bottom of the barrel because you've nothing to actually say. So you just need to fill up your quota. So you're coming out with these stupid fucking articles. And if you ever disrespect Hartnell again, you know, us fans are going to make sure that journalists like you are actually exposed. How dare you? The ramifications of the timeless child reveal are so monumental that fans are still discovering new ways in which it recontextualizes the Doctor's history. No, we're not. No, we're not. The Timeless Children has had a monumental effect, all right. The fact that 7 million people have walked away and that we fucking hate it. Fans have been stitching, they've been trying to stitch it together because Chibnall hasn't made this perfect. They have to stitch stuff together, just like you're doing now, Joe, you moron. So yeah, I'm not going to read any more of this moron's article, but it's from Joe Simpson. There is his name, the moron. There he is. There, he wrote it a day ago. Joe Simpson, the moron, uneducated twat, trying to justify the Timeless Children story arc by insulting William Hartnell. The fact that the man was actually ill and stuff. Yeah, I mean, how low do these scumbags actually need to go? But there you go, another moron. I'm loving this. I'm going to be calling out a load of morons because that's what they are. The morons. So there you go. More from the moron there. So what do you guys think about that? And I knew that was going to happen. Right, so my chat has paused. So I'm going to have to check on my phone and see what you are all saying, because I can't see it, because StreamYard, it's stupid. It's either StreamYard or YouTube, but when you share on this, like, it freezes the chat. So let's see. Hartnell forced. I see a lot of Hartnell forced. Hartnell hasn't been respected since the 50th. I agree with you. But this is the type of stuff that we're going to do. I'm sure Rabbi, if he already hasn't done a video on this nonsense, I'm sure he will do one. But we've already got one dislike video. One moron has disliked the video. Oh, by the way, to the three morons that disliked my Chadwick Boseman article video, you really are a bunch of scumbags. And you really have to be a special kind of scumbag to do that. As I said, I don't care if you dislike me, but when I put up an article like that, that's actually announcing the death of an actor and his achievements and what he did in his life, and I have a little scumbag or two disliking that video. Listen for a minute, right? You take your personal issues, right, and you take them and you leave them aside, all right? And if you feel like you're going to comment them, well then, or leave a dislike, don't bother. Don't actually bother. How disrespectful are you guys to do that? I don't care if you hate me. I've said this loads of times. I don't care if I'm hated by you guys. But to go and actually dislike a video of an article that I've done to show and to let everybody in the world know what happened when the news broke, and for 3 years or 2 years to dislike that video, you have to be a special kind of scumbag, as I said. The Timeless Children is being rejected. The 7 million households have rejected the Timeless Children. So it doesn't matter what these morons say. William Hartnell will and always will be the Fourth Doctor. No matter what Chris Chibnall does, someone else will come in anyway and will rectify it. It's as simple as that. Remember what Chris Chibnall said. It's not a democracy, and while he's running the show, him and his writing team will write it the way they want it. Well, the same will be said when the new production team comes in and replace. Oh, by the way, to the morons that are still going out there and saying that Jodie Whittaker, and I'm talking about the J-bots out there, that she's staying for another 2 years. She isn't staying for another 2 years, and I don't care what anybody else is saying out there. Quite frankly, she's leaving after Series 13, and that's the bottom line, right? So get used to it, all right? She is leaving, right? The Doctor Who fan site on Twitter that actually put that news up to say that she was actually staying for another 2 years is a lie, right? It wasn't even a proper Doctor Who official. They tried to make it out that they were the official page, and they're not. She's not staying for another 2 years because they cannot sustain this any longer. Yes, they have the money, but the audience has gone away. And to be quite honest with you, you know, BBC might go around thinking that they don't care about the odds, but trust me, BBC are in a lot of trouble right now. And the TV license, we're getting closer to decriminalising the TV license. BBC are going to be in serious trouble. Jodie Whittaker is leaving. I don't care what anybody else says out there. I'm going to tell you right now. It doesn't matter what rumour people are getting. They cannot sustain this any longer. She is gone. End of the story. Season 13, she is gone at the end of. Some people are even predicting, but I wouldn't even go as far as to say this, but some are even thinking that she's going to regenerate this special. Now, if I'm being honest, I do and have heard, like many people out there that have done source news, that there is a regeneration scene filmed, and there was one filmed, right? Now, whether it's a fake regeneration scene like they've done with Peter Capaldi, or whether it is a proper regeneration scene, a regeneration scene was filmed. Okay, so I don't care what these fake accounts out there say. The ones that are saying that she's saying that she's staying, and this particular account out there that's gone around spreading false information. By the way, Jodie Whittaker's Barbie doll is not the best-selling doll of all time, which you claimed. That was the hairy Barbie doll, and I actually put proof up on that. You're also going around telling people that Jodie Whittaker's doctor, that people that make videos like me are making hate videos. I do not hate Jodie Whittaker personally, but as an actress, I think she's one of the worst actresses I've ever came across. And I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. Yes, there's some in this chat that actually don't think she's bad in other shows, but I actually think she's a horrible actress. And that's my opinion. That isn't hate. That's just commenting on her acting ability, which she has very little of. Jodie Whittaker isn't staying. She will live. Acting ability. Right, and there you go. These can hear me twice because I'm actually on my phone. But she's gone. She's gone. So enjoy our last season whenever that does come out, because it will be her last season. And I don't care. You can call me a liar. It's very funny that you are actually believing an account that has been proven by everybody to be a fake Doctor Who account. This is an account set up by a Jodie Whittaker fan to basically say, or Jodie Whittaker supporter, putting that rumour out because the other side, the so-called other side, were saying that she was leaving. So this was using a way to get your side of the fandom all excited into thinking that she's staying, which is a lie. You've lied to them all, and they're all going to be disappointed and heartbroken. And this time, listen, yes, people will say, well, you said she was leaving Jordan Series 12. Yes, a lot of us were convinced that she was leaving Jordan Series 12 after Series 12. The rumour mill was in overdrive, and the information that multiple sources were getting at the time is that they were ready to go, right? So this rumour has started ever since she took the role, and ever since Series 11 stopped airing. There has been a rumour of Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall leaving Doctor Who. And the question that you guys have never asked is, well, where did these rumours come from in the first place? And if you're going to say the rumours came from this side of the fandom or whatever side you claim that someone is, you're wrong. It actually came from within the BBC itself. Okay, that's where the rumours all started. BBC Wales. All right? And it hasn't went away since. This production team, by BBC Radio's own voice, I put the video up. It's up. It should be still up. If not, I'll remind people. There was trouble during the production of Series 11, and that carried on into Series 12. This production team is at loggerheads anyway with each other. There's been infighting. There was the rumour that Chris Chibnall even walked off. The chaos in Cardiff. This hasn't been all plain sailing like everybody has said. So I'm sorry, it makes no sense for the BBC to continue down this route. especially after losing 7 million households. And if you think losing 7 million households is okay as a Jodie Whittaker fan, and you think that that's going to be good enough for BBC to justify to keep her in the role any longer than she is, you're wrong. Jodie Whittaker signed a 3-year contract just like everybody else that took the role. Christopher Eccleston signed a 3-year contract, but unfortunately, as we know, he didn't fulfill his 3 years. David Tennant was the same, but obviously he got a contract extension. Matt Smith was the same thing. Peter Capaldi signed a 3-year contract. Jodie Whittaker signed a 3-year contract, and her contract will be up. She has not signed a contract extension. She is just basically going to do, she's going to fulfill her first contract. There will be no second contract handed to Jodie Whittaker because that's optional. And Chris Chibnall needs to go as well. And unfortunately, there might be a chance of him staying. But if he does stay, for me, it doesn't matter if you replace Jodie Whittaker, you're still going to get the same nonsense from him. His writing is still not good enough, no matter what you say. It doesn't matter about the politics. His writing still isn't good enough. So, yeah, I agree. BBC just need to admit failure, but they won't. They won't. They will. They will. Listen, you can already see it, right? The Jodie Whittaker fans have already started to question why she's not getting promoted as much. As I said, I'll answer that question for you. It's simple. BBC have totally lost faith in this current era. They've lost faith in Jodie Whittaker and they've lost faith in Chris Chibnall. The reason why we're getting Time Lord Victorious and we're getting the Ninth Doctor, and the reason why there's such a big deal being made out of those two. And also we've got Tom Baker doing his thing with David Tennant, and Tom Baker's doing his own audios. We've also got the Eighth Doctor doing their audios, and as I said, they recently announced that Christopher Eccleston has returned since 2005 to play the Doctor. Well, even though it's an audio, he's still coming back. But why has that happened? Well, it's happened because Jodie Whittaker is just not popular, and they need to make money. Remember, the licensees have suffered since Whittaker has been cast. There was huge promotion during Series 11, as you've seen yourselves. There was hardly any promotion during Series 12, and there has been no promotion or little no promotion for the special that's coming up, and little or no word about anything that's going to be going on in Series 13, except for the rumours and speculation that have been going around. So why is that? As I said, it's because Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall's era of Doctor Who ain't popular. 7 million households, and I keep saying it and I'll keep repeating, 7 million households have turned their back. The Doctor Who magazine is struggling, and so are the licensees. Time Lord Victorious is an attempt by the licensees to get some of that money back that they've lost over the last 2 years. Bringing Christopher Eccleston in guarantees them a cash flow too. It's been a long time since that man has played the Doctor, so they know they're clever. They know that audio will sell, and it will sell. Christopher Eccleston's audio over Time Lord Victorious will sell. Trust me. Time Lord Victorious is an ambitious project, and I don't think they'll be able to pull it off. The Ninth Doctor, they have some hope because Christopher Eccleston doesn't, he says he doesn't get involved in bad scripts, but he has in the past. There's a few examples out there. G.I. Joe would be one. For example, when he left England to go to America. But he has starred in other good shows like Fortitude and stuff like that. So he's done okay. But they know what they're doing by bringing him back. The licensees need to make money. You're even seeing now they've gotten permission to use the old, character option. Is it character options? I'm not 100% sure. Or B&M or someone has got the rights to actually make the movie Daleks, right? And there's a reason behind all of that, and it's quite simple, but the J-Bots or the Jodie Whittaker fans, whatever you want to call them, keep missing the bigger picture. The reason why all of this is happening is Jodie just doesn't sell. And I'm sorry, you might go out and buy our merchandise, but as I said before, there's not enough of this to sustain the licenses. 7 million households, as I said, have walked away. How many of those 7 million households would have went out and bought merchandise for a family member? And that's the whole point. You know, you have to have a successful show to have your merchandise flying off the shelf. You also need a successful show to help the magazine along. And Chris Chibnall is personally responsible for the magazine because Doctor Who magazine always got the scoops, the biggest scoops for when the seasons aired, right? RTD was very good with Doctor Who magazine. Even Moffat, up to a certain point, even though Moffat was a little bit more guarded, he still gave the Doctor Who magazine exclusives. Chris Chibnall doesn't, right? He doesn't believe in doing that, and he's very tight-lipped about what he does. That's why we get so many leaks during Chris Chibnall's era, and that's why we have, is because he is so guarded. If he opened up to the Doctor Who magazine and gave them sneak peeks and exclusive interviews, which he's only done a few of, and when he has done the interviews, he hasn't given anything away. And he gives these boring production notes, and we're supposed to sit through them and read. And when you read them, it looks like a 12-year-old has actually sat down and actually written Doctor Who. But in reality, a 12-year-old would actually come up with something better than what Chris Chibnall has actually come up with. It's absolutely ridiculous that we're still here, but they're the reasons, Jodie Whittaker fans. So you just wanted to know why she's not getting promotion. That's why she's not getting promotion. Now, is it all her fault? No, it's Chris Chibnall. He's the big culprit here, but she hasn't helped herself either, as we have made clear in past videos and past streams. So I mean, they have to really make the decision now. The window of opportunity for them to save this show, right? Because this is what will happen. We've lost 7 million households again, as I said. But what will happen is the decline, if she stays on any further than Series 13, the decline is going to get worse. And if you think just under 4 million people, series finale is going to be good enough to sustain this show. If it goes down another million or two during Series 13, or even the Christmas or the festive special, I should say, this show's in serious trouble, and you Jodie Whittaker fans need to wake up to reality, right? And the reality of the situation is that Chris Chibnall has screwed over our precious Jodie Whittaker, right? He is the main culprit. She hasn't helped with our videos, as I said, but he is the main culprit here. And you should be angry at him. And I do feel, even though I have my personal opinions on the Doctor, and I do believe that the Doctor is essentially a male role because it has been that for over half a century. And, you know, as I said, this narratively didn't fit into the show. But I do feel we have been robbed. We should have got the first female Doctor, but we didn't. If anything, we didn't get the first female Doctor until season 12, right? And this is going to be controversial to some, but Joe Martin's Doctor was more of a Doctor in the 2 years that Jodie Whittaker has been played the Doctor. Now, I know people still have a problem with Joe Martin if she was cast as the Doctor, but I could tell you, over Jodie Whittaker, I would pick Joe Martin any day of the week. The woman can act. In the 2-minute scene that she had with Jodie Whittaker in the TARDIS, she completely showed the way a female Doctor should be played. So, you know, again, you know, whose fault is that? That's Jodie Whittaker's fault. That's where she comes in. That's where she takes the blame. Because Joe Martin has said that she's a fan of Doctor Who and grew up watching Doctor Who. So whether we agree with Joe Martin taking the role or not, Joe Martin had understanding for the Doctor. She understood the role and she played it like she understood it. Jodie Whittaker doesn't play the role like she understands the role because she hasn't done the research until it was too late. And it's too late now. I mean, if you're not going to do the research till halfway through, you do your 4 seasons, it's too late. It's too late. Matt Smith did it, became a fan. I'm not saying that Jodie Whittaker should become a fan of Doctor Who, but Jesus Christ, you're getting paid to do a job. You should do the necessary research. Simple as that. So, yeah, I mean, Joe Martin showed her up, in my opinion. And if they do go with Joe Martin's casting, which is one of the rumours, by the way, can't be verified, but they might go with Joe Martin. If they go with Joe Martin, I'm not going to kick up much of a fuss as I did with Jodie Whittaker, because for the simple fact of the matter is Joe Martin is probably 10 times the actress that Jodie Whittaker actually is. So, you know, I'm happy enough with that. It'll be just whether they can write her properly or not. But with Chris Chibnall there, you can't. You can't. I have to say, Missy is a perfect example. While I don't recognise Missy as such as the master, right? Because that's just me. Michelle Gomez did a great job, right? And she convinced a lot of people. And to a lot of people, she's their master. So she did her job, right? You could have done the same with the Doctor if you had got the right actress in there. Even Joe Martin is not the right choice, but if you had a choice between her and Jodie Whittaker, you'd pick Joe Martin. But in fairness, if they were going to go with someone, they should have went with an actress that actually had a decent CV. Simple as that. This is not a role that you give to someone, you know, as a stepping stone, which this is for Jodie Whittaker. It's a stepping stone. Especially not the first female Doctor. No, there's too much at stake. There's too much at stake. That's the problem. There's way too much at stake here. I just can't get me head over what Chris Chibnall was thinking and how he thought that this was actually going to be fine, you know. And then, you know, you get these polls, which season was better, season 11 or 12? Well, season 11 wasn't Doctor Who, and series 12 was ruined, was average at best, mediocre I'd say, but it was ruined by the last episode, a 2-minute scene in the last episode. So, you know, the first one's not recognised. Season 11 is not even recognised as Doctor Who because it was so alien to what Doctor Who should be. And Series 12, as I said, was mediocre at best and was ruined by the Timeless Children. So, you know, these I think there's a case to say that this era is worse than Colin Baker's. Yeah, I would have to go that far. It's got, listen, the late 80s, yeah, you know, there was a lot of turmoil, a lot of problems, and it went off. But this has caused an awful lot of damage. The Timeless Child, especially reveal, has destroyed everything. And you're still getting these articles trying to justify it. And they'll do it at the expense of classic Doctors. Remember that as well. They'll always do it at the expense of classic Doctors. You know, imagine doing an article about William Hartnell and his illnesses and trying to say, well, because he was ill, but we don't care, he fluffed these lines. Let's do an article and let's say that the Timeless Children's going to fix it. So this girl is going to fix it again. Get away. As I said, Joe, you're a moron. I don't know. We're surrounded by morons that write articles like that. For morons. I mean, I don't know where they come up with all of these whoppers. They must be sitting at home and looking at what fans are saying like us, yeah? And then they go, right, well, how can we, what kind of article will we write now to kind of disrespect our classic Doctors? Because this is what these are all designed to do, right? It's because we came out all the time and we're slating the timeless children about how crap it is and how it's disrespectful. They're coming out and they're attacking their classic doctors. Remember, they tried to cancel a dead man in John Pertwee last year when an ad that was never aired surfaced, and they tried to cancel him. Right? This is the type of stuff that how many times have they criticised Hartnell? There was an article a few weeks ago where they were calling him sexist and racist, by the way. And actually, even in one of the special edition of the 10th Planet, Annie Wilkes actually comes out and says she says that she was very disappointed in Bill because Jordan that show or Jordan that story or something, he basically he wasn't as such racist behind. He wasn't actually racist, but he it was like he had this old fashioned view. He came from an old fashioned point of view, and she says she was very disappointed in him. But he never. And the guy that was in the 10th Planet said Bill never treated me any different. I didn't even know there was prejudice there or whatever. It was prejudice or something. It was. But yeah, they'll do anything. They'll do anything, and then you had, the watch along yesterday that they did, Remembrance of the Daleks and stuff, and the fans having a debate about what the poster actually said. Who gives a crap what the poster actually said? We know what the episode was highlighting, the story was highlighting. We don't need a reminder. We know. You know what he's fighting about? Whether it said no Irish, no dogs, no blacks or whatever. Right. We know. Everybody has the virtue signal out there all the time. We get it. Racism is bad. So go and sort it out then. Right, let's see what we got in the chat. So we've got Ben here. Welcome, Ben. Patrick is here as well. Welcome, Patrick. Matthew Burrows is here as well. Welcome, Matthew Burrows. If I have forgotten anybody, just throw your name in there now and I'll read you out. The BBC won't admit failure. That's the problem, Ben. They never will. And he says the production notes in the Doctor Who magazine are a genuine snooze fest. They could honestly be used to cure insomnia. Well, there you go. If anybody is finding it hard to sleep, just go and seek out Chris Chibnall's production notes for series 11 and 12, and that should put you to sleep. Crystal is here as well, and John Michael Fink is here. Welcome, guys. Therese Action is here as well. Therese Action, welcome. Super John! So yeah, BBC won't admit a failure, but I can tell you that BBC are worried. BBC are scared. And here's the thing which I found most surprising is that BBC actually don't want Doctor Who to go away. They actually want to keep Doctor Who on the telly for as long as possible. And that's what surprises me the most, is that because Piers Fingers even came out, as you all know, he said editorially it's healthy and all. They want this show to continue. So I'd say to Mr. Piers Fenger, listen to the fans. Listen to the fans that have been complaining for the last 3 years, and actually sit down with those fans and actually try to find out why we have a problem with the current direction of the show, and maybe you will get somewhere. BBC and the people behind Doctor Who need to be more open with the fans. I'm sorry, some will say out there because they're only with the show since 2005, and it's a lot of these YouTubers that will come out. Well, you don't own the show, and you have this. The that the show should basically pander to youths. No, we've never said that. We want the show to be what it was, which was entertaining, and it's supposed to have sci-fi in it, by the way. You know, that's the big element that's missing. Sci-fi, you know, battles, space battles, running down corridors, you know, attacking aliens, defending planets, you know. Of course, when Jodie Whittaker's Doctor defends planets, it's about plastic. Or when she's running down corridors, she comes to a corridor where there's a chair and she starts talking to a frog. Or she's on a space station and the alien is an adipose on crack that eats metal, but has no other motivation. Do you notice as well in Whittaker's era that there's actually no real danger? The Doctor is actually in no real danger, and also she lets people do all the hard work for her, and then she swans in and takes the credit. By the way, we still have people defending that cancer scene, right? And some saying, my family member had cancer, right? If you're defending this cancer scene, you're a scumbag, right? And I don't care if anybody out there has or hasn't lost anybody. That upset a lot of people, and you have to be a special kind of heartless monster not to react to that, because it was disgusting. And the excuse that you heard, well, Graham didn't really want the Doctor to say that, and because you could see from his face, that he was very disappointed. You could see from his face that he was waiting for the Doctor to give him some words of hope, words of comfort, but she didn't. I'm socially awkward. I'm Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. I'm socially awkward. So, yes, we will keep bringing that up, because if you're going to do something on suicide or depression, then watch no further than Vincent and the Doctor, guys. If you want to watch something that actually pays respect to the issue that they're trying to highlight, well, then Vincent and the Doctor is the episode for you. You will also cry at the end of that episode. There's actually proper true emotion in that, and you feel it. Okay? So, no, the Doctor was wrong. That scene showed everything that is wrong with this current era. And that's why so many of you will defend it, because that is the scene that even got the British public to tune out. Because after that scene happened, just watch those numbers fall, baby. Just watch those ratings fall. And they fall, and they fall, and they fall, and they fall. Fans have had enough. The general public have had enough. And all there is a small minority echo chamber of 3 million of you, just under 4 billion of you, and that's not enough of you to keep this show going. I'm sorry, but you've won nothing. And we won nothing either. The only casualty here has been Doctor Who and its reputation and its fandom. Because its fandom used to be something of envy. It was a joke back in the late 80s. It used to be a dirty little secret. But we gained respect. You know, when the show came back in 2005, the fandom was the envy of most fandoms. Now we've gone back to being a complete joke. And that's down to you, Jodie Whittaker fans, and his behaviour. So you've won nothing. You've destroyed the show. You've destroyed the franchise. You've destroyed canon. Well, you've helped because you've never spoke up. I wouldn't mind if you like Jodie Whittaker, but actually came out and complained about the things that are clearly happening in the show that make it hard for Jodie Whittaker to do her job. But no, you will defend her blindly, and you will defend Chris Chibnall blindly because you are idiots. Because you would rather defend it than let anybody say anything bad about it, which is sad. If yous actually came out and actually start criticizing Chris Chibnall's writing and saying how he's actually not helping Jodie Whittaker, we might actually get somewhere. But you won't even do that. You won't even do that. And we've asked countless of times on streams. We've even begged with you to go and start highlighting the mistakes that Chris Chibnall and his writing team are making, right? Because I can guarantee you, Jodie Whittaker wouldn't be getting scrutinised as much as she is if yous were on Chris Chibnall's back as well. Because then yous are putting him to task, right? He's the guy that's writing for her, him and his writing team, and they're letting her down really, really badly, right? As I said, she hasn't helped the situation herself, and the fact that she's over her head. But if she was actually given some decent scripts, then we'd actually get to see what a Jodie Whittaker doctor looks like. But we'll never get to see what a Jodie Whittaker doctor looks like because she doesn't act her own way. She cosplays 10 and 11. And by the way, for fans saying that she doesn't, she does. She clearly does. She's a cosplay of those two doctors. It's as simple as that. She doesn't play her own version of the doctor. She's not even written like a female doctor anyway, right? So, as I said, this would see. This is the thing. This is why they won't come out against Chris Chibnall, because if they did, and Chris Chibnall actually start writing some decent Doctor Who stories, I can guarantee it would expose the weakness of Jodie Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker, unfortunately, is not a lead actress in sci-fi. I'm sorry. She might be good in dramas and family dramas and playing a married woman or playing a bereaved mother, but when it comes to playing the Doctor, she is totally wrong for the role. And that's just the reality of the situation. But it would be nice to see her get some good writing to prove me wrong. And you know what? All we fans have ever wanted was for Jodie Whittaker to prove us wrong. Even up until the day of our 4th series, I was saying, I really do hope to God this woman proves me wrong. And she didn't. And 2 years later, she still hasn't proven me wrong. And she hasn't proven the British public either. And the American audience, which is also halved as well. It's actually quite startling. The decline in the UK and the decline in America is identical. 56% on both sides of the Atlantic have tuned out. And it's sad. Oh, and by the way, some people out there are saying that Doctor Who, and this is how stupid they are saying that Doctor Who wasn't popular in America until Moffat took over. Well, that's funny because I do have people on from America on the panel, even from Canada. What's that local TV station? PBS, is it? Cheryl, is that the station? Yeah, PBS. And right,
old stuff was PBS.
PBS was the classic stuff. By the way, they had you not seen, you moron? By the way, the person will know who you are because they listen. By the way, have you not seen the old footage that's on YouTube of them being in America doing conventions? You know, even going as far as Australia to do telethons and all of this. You're telling me that Doctor Who wasn't popular in America? Doctor Who was popular in America. Yeah, and 2 of the doctors, by the way, you moron, died in America. So get your facts straight. Doctor Who was always popular in America like it was in the UK. Moffat did, and I will admit this, Moffat did bring it to a whole new level. There's no denying that. But to actually say that Doctor Who wasn't popular in America is an absolute joke. Absolute joke. It was. I mean, how do you think people in America watch Doctor Who now? It's because of the past. They didn't just turn on in 2004. Oh, look, there's Doctor Who. Right? Doctor Who was on before. They were aware of Doctor Who way before that. So again, this is the kind of rhetoric that we get. And we get this particular Jodie fan out there that is, and you know what, the lies are so blatant, and we've proven some of the lies. The person just keeps going on. And by the way, this fan isn't a fan of Doctor Who. they're just a fan of Jodie Whittaker. And by the way, they've also said that they're going to mass flag my channel because apparently I do hate videos on Jodie Whittaker. Now, I just point out our weaknesses as playing the Doctor as an actress. And, I point out the weaknesses of the writing of the showrunner and his weaknesses. Not hate video, it's called an opinion. And if you don't like that opinion, I'm sorry. If you want to live on cloud nine where there's unicorns all around, little fairies and all this floating around in your head and think that everything is fine, you go ahead, love. You're entitled to do that. But at the end of the day, the reality of the situation is there's a thunderstorm coming. Yeah, and it's not going to be good. And by the way, when Jodie Whittaker does go, all I'll just say to you guys is this. 3 years you've been hammering away. 3 years. So remember that when the new Doctor is announced, because do not be surprised if there's people out there that you have hurt, abused, doxed, whatever, come after you. Because, it's time to clear up the fandom. And we will clean house. 11 dislikes. I can't believe it. The J-Bots are here. We got 50 people watching. Do me a favor, J-Bots. Give the video a dislike. Obviously, it all helps you morons. For everybody that's in the chat, if you haven't liked the video already, please do. Like, share, subscribe. Do whatever, guys. You know what to do. Let's show these morons who has the real power in this fandom. They think they're all powerful and almighty with their accounts, screen grabbing stuff and all. They're not. They're all a bunch of little muppets with nothing better to do. And you know what? Our time is coming in this fandom. Jodie Whittaker is leaving, and you won't have. And here's the thing: you have the protection of of certain members that are close to the production team. When Jodie Whittaker goes, their rhetoric changes, by the way, and you are on your own. So you might have some level of protection now, but you won't always have that level of protection. See, you never thought of that really, did you? No, you didn't. Because you think you are invincible, but you aren't. There's a storm coming. The east wind. Yeah. And if anybody is a Moffat fan, you will know exactly what I mean by that. Can't believe 51 people are actually watching. So we've got 33 likes now. Well done, guys. By the way, those 11 dislikes won't stay there. What happens is they've set up little bot accounts, but when it goes up live again, it'll go down to about 2 or 3 because you have 3. You actually have the same 3 morons disliking the video. The same 3 scumbags that dislike the Chadwick Boseman video. Do you know what? It's actually, I'd love YouTube to do it, but they should show you who likes and dislikes your videos from now on. Actually, shows you who gives you a love heart, but it should show you who likes and dislikes a comment, so you can expose these morons. J-Bots are here. Are the modern day version of internet lurkers, says the third Doctor. Bobby D is here. Welcome, Bobby D. Nice to have you here, pal. You can't see me, but I'm actually saluting you, pal. I don't have a camera. The wife keeps saying, why you do things with your hands and all. Nobody could see it. That's true. That's 3. 3 of the morons left. I'm all sad. But ding dong, Jodie's gone. Which old Jodie, the talentless one, says Matthew Pounder. I'm telling you, that's the thing. That these fans don't realise that when she's gone, their safety buffer, their safety net is gone. And it's going to be a free for all. Because there are some fans that are biding their time. I've been speaking to people trying to convince them to just, move on. Just let's move on. Just forget about it. But some people are so hurt and they've been bullied relentlessly over the last 3 years that you know, they're just biding their time. They're not there, you know, a lot of the behavior that's going on now, there's a certain account, as you all know, Rabbi has highlighted it, I've spoke about it, that's, you know, listen, this account, whether I don't care what they say, this account is designed to take screen grabs of people that they perceive to be toxic, right? Because they have a different opinion. Now, obviously, the person behind this account is obviously a Jodie Whittaker fan because this is the only reason why they're doing it, right? But they're picking on people. See, here's the problem I have, right? I don't mind what they're doing to a certain extent if they were actually highlighting proper scummery stuff, but they're not. They're picking on posts that like basically have a different opinion about the area. It's nothing that you would consider vile. One or two posts they put up are that you would consider vile, that they put up, that they highlight, that I say, yeah, okay, that's good. But here's the thing that I don't like. Why not highlight your own side's actions? Why are you just highlighting one side? Or one so-called side? And I wouldn't even mind half of the stuff that you're putting up. I mean, you put up a screenshot of someone that said they were having a bash stream on Chris Chibnall, and then you had Sean the Medashian Cyberman come on with a gift saying because you wrote something up and he wrote mic drop. You didn't mic drop. She didn't mic drop Arton, you moron. Right? Didn't mic drop Arton. That person was entitled to do that stream. Just because you don't like it doesn't give you the right then to go screen grab and then have your people go and harass them, because that's exactly what happens. See, I wouldn't mind if you actually were balanced in your criticism and you actually criticised your own side's behaviour. Actually, what you're doing is actually what you accuse the other side of doing as well. Maybe you should highlight your own behaviour as well, you moron. That's the problem. And even some on the other side have criticised you, saying what you're doing here is actually making matters worse. And I can tell you right now, it is making matters worse. Those people that you're highlighting are human beings. Yeah? They're human beings, flesh and blood like you. They have feelings and emotions. When you go and screen grab or you get or someone hand, I don't care, right? I know you say people send you screen grabs. That's your way, a disclaimer. That's your way of saying, well, it's not me doing it. It's other people that send me stuff, right? I know it's a disclaimer. I know you go in yourself and you do screen grab some of this stuff yourself, right? You can say that you don't, but you do, right? Okay? So you're engaging in this behavior and it's not helping. But I wouldn't even mind the people that you're picking on. You're picking on Rabbi. I even seen you're picking on Super John, Blue Bonnet Hoovian. You've picked on other people as well. And there are some people that I've seen that you have highlighted that I'm actually secretly delighted that you have, because they are racist bigots and they deserve to be highlighted. But I wish you'd highlight your own side's behaviour as well, but you won't. You won't, because there's a hypocrisy there. It's okay for you to bully, harass, and do all of this, but I'm thinking of setting up my own Twitter, a new Twitter account that will highlight your guys' behaviour, right? Two can play your game. Haven't thought about, because I don't like setting up other accounts. It's not me thing. So I'm thinking hard about it. But I'm gonna if you're gonna play those games, then we're gonna play those games as well. It's as simple as that. Right? You're not gonna get away with this and think that you can get away with this. But you're picking on people that you shouldn't even be picking on. You're picking on people that are not even that militant. Right? They just have a different opinion. I wouldn't mind if you went after the real militant ones, but you don't. And as I said, you highlight some of the behaviour of your own side, but it's always one-sided. It's always one-sided, right? You make us all out to be this, that, and the other, and we're not, right? All we're trying to say to you idiots is that the show is not in the best of health, and the show isn't the way it should be, and you guys have a problem when we say anything about that, right? I'm just sick and tired of it all the time. Now, let's see. I'm getting more messages being sent to me as we speak. So let's see what we've got here. So there's a page on Twitter called The Fan. Obviously, it's a troll account. So apparently, me and Rabbi are supposed to be jealous because this account now, this bully account, has more followers than me and Rabbi. Right, I'll address that. I don't know why I'd be jealous of a moron, to be quite honest with you. And I don't care if a bully account, as I said in my tweet, it actually shows how many scumbags are actually on Twitter and follow that scumbag. So the latest tweet is this. Okay, no, Zone, if only you could stop talking about not my doctor. I might have actually believed you weren't jealous. Your obsession betrays you. Also, we help people. Gave me a good right. I do help people. I do. How many channels are out there because of me? I'm not going to hide behind it. How many channels are out there because of me? I help everybody that asks for help in this fandom, comes to me, asks for their channel to be highlighted or whatever. And as I said, I don't have an obsession. And you actually claimed that I'm following everybody that person is following. That account was set up in a few weeks back, you moron. They're following everybody I'm following. They're following everybody Rabbi is following. They're following everybody that they're highlighting, right? So, no, you're wrong. I don't have an obsession. It's your friend that has an obsession, right? So if you're going to talk, don't be talking out your ass, mate. Yeah, get some fucking mints there, will you? Smell a shite out your mouth. Actually, I'm going to put that up as well. Where is it? Give me that. Bloody moron. Jealous of what? Jealous of what? I'm not claiming she's leaving. She is leaving. They're obviously watching, as I said, because they're on Twitter now. I'm not claiming she is leaving. Right? Get that through your thick skulls. She's leaving. Not claiming anything. I'm telling you, she's leaving. So, you get that? Get that through your wooden heads. Yeah? Move the sawdust away. Yeah? Blow the cobwebs away and retain the information. She is leaving. Claiming nothing. Right. Let's see who's in the chat. We're nearly finished anyway, guys. Short stream tonight. If they wanted to ruin our show when they can easily make an Unbound spin-off show, even in 89, it was still cool. Any positive news? There's never any positive news in Doctor Who fandom. That's the bottom line. Do you know what, Leland? I'll check. We might as well. You never know. Right, let's see. Doctor Who news. Let's see if there's anything positive. Doctor Who news. So here we go. What have we got? What have you got for us? Right, the Daily Express has an article that they threw up 5 hours ago. It says Doctor Who faces old foes as new specials confirmed for BBC drama. Right. Let's read. We'll throw this up. Oh, we've already read this. I already broke this news. Right, it's from Charlotte Manning, and it's about the animations. We already did this, but we'll... So, Doctor Who, yeah. Doctor Who may be off screen at the moment, but it looks like fans will get even more of their fix than usual next year due to some new specials reportedly in the works. Well, we spoke about this. So the Abominable Snowman, and obviously we've got what was the other one? The Abominable Snowman and what was the other one? The Abominable Snowman. Why is this taking so long? See, that just jumped there all the way to the bottom of the article. Sorry, guys. This is see these articles. They make it harder for you now to actually read because they put all these ads in, and right, but that can't be the end of the article. Oh, for God's sake, come on. They always have to insert a photograph, don't they? Like, it's not even about her. It's about, like, the animations, yeah? And they still just have to stick her in everywhere. So, yeah, the Evil of the Daleks and the Abominable Snowmen. We already spoke about this. So, for anybody that doesn't know, we're obviously getting those two animations next year. Actually, 2021 for Doctor Who fans, especially if you're a classic fan, I'd have to say, you're in for quite a lot of treats. And obviously, if you're a Ninth Doctor fan as well, you're going to have the big finish next year as well. So, again, I'll say to Jodie Whittaker fans, again, there's going to be less promotion because it's all going to be focused on all of this other stuff because BBC just don't care. They just don't care. That's the reality. You keep asking the question why she gets no promotion. I've told you. She doesn't care. Whether you believe me or not, that's up to you yourselves. I don't really care if you do or not. As I said, the audience numbers, the ratings tell all. And you could say all about TV habits changing, the ratings take all of that into account nowadays. So that argument is gone. And again, it is an unfair argument because, as I said, all the other doctors were on a Saturday, she's on a Sunday. So, you can't really compare the two. You can't really compare her numbers or her figures with any of the previous doctors because we're on a different night of the week, right? And also they were on a time slot where they had competition. She had none. She had no competition. So, and she still did badly. The era still did badly. So open these our eyes, right? And the reason why it's doing all badly is because of a man, Chris Chibnall, right? He's the one that writes her. He's the one that employed his writing team that have no experience. He is at fault because he hired the wrong actress. The bottom line. So yeah, so we got the two Leland. So we got two animations. That's I suppose that's a bit of good news there. As I said, there's not really any good news because what these articles seem to do is criticize. So as I said, Doctor Who's timeless child retcon can explain the First Doctor's acting slip-ups. There's another one from Screen Rant. Doctor Who, 10 things about Martha that would never fly today. They just have to do these ridiculous articles. That was a day ago. Doctor Who's creator reveals... it's not Doctor Who creator. Reveals Matt Smith's iconic 11th hour episode original title. Well, he's not Doctor Who's creator, by the way. You should have said showrunner. But again, see the way they word these articles. 10 things about Donna that would never fly today. Articles like that. This is the type of stuff that Screen Rant do. And other news places. Most of these articles are actually Screen Rant, believe it or not. We'll go to the next page there and see if there's any more. We've got one Daily Express, Doctor Who, Billy Piper unable to address Rose Tyler role I struggle. Yeah, that's because I think she had an eating disorder and she was going through a marriage breakup and stuff. Actually, Billy Piper and Christopher Eccleston have to get huge credit. Actually, during their run, both of them were going through personal turmoil, and they still produced that magnificent fourth season. And then Billy went on to be in do well in series too. So yeah, uh, so Doctor Who opens up its world to young gamers within the CBB online game Nightfall. And Doctor Who Bernice Summerfield's earliest audios are available to download for free. Doctor Who's new right. This is an article that Rabbi actually did. So I suppose I might as well give my 2 cents to the argument or the article. So we'll read this because I agree with the music wholeheartedly being crap. So Doctor Who's new music reveals the problem with Whittaker's era. Well, if you're going to have a pop song during the Rosa Parks scene where she's getting off the bus, it's in bad taste. That whole episode was in bad taste, but that's a whole different. They'll be called racist for that, by the way, because you have to like Rosa. Even if it's shit, you have to like Rosa. But no, I'm not going to like something that was shit, okay? And disrespected a monumental moment. A recent interview with Doctor Who's composer Seguin Akinola shines a fascinating light on one of the many problems facing the current series. Right, he says Doctor Who's new music neatly symbolises the problems of Chris Chibnall's era. The classic Doctor Who series is largely divided by main actors. Think of the Hartnell era, the time of the Tom Baker or the McCoy era. But the relaunched Doctor Who series is more characterised most by different distinctive showrunners. The Russell T era, the Stephen Moffat run, and now the age of Chris Chibnall, which will go and end in a load of smoke and a pile of rubble. Chibnall's run has proved decisive. I wonder why. The current showrunner believes Doctor Who should be educational. I disagree. Well, it can be educational up to a point, but when the education becomes the main center of the focus instead of the actual story that you're trying to tell, then you run into problems. And as such, he enjoyed some carefully structured historical episodes and presented quite strong social commentary on current issues. He's determined to leave his mark on the franchise, and in Doctor Who Season 12, it's Series 12, you moron, he retconned the show's entire history. Yes, he did. He revealed the Doctor is actually the timeless child, an ancient being who's a refugee, by the way, who potentially predates the entire universe and who became the basic genetic code for the entire Time Lord race. This has understandably divided the fandom. No, it hasn't divided the fandom. See, you have a small minority of morons that actually like this and people that are uneducated about the show, and then you have the most of the fandom that have walked away that actually hate this. So get that correct. It hasn't divided. It's like 2% like this rubbish, and 98% have said bye bye. Right, let's see. This has understandably divided the fandom, with some wishing that it could all be retconned away, and others interested to see where it goes next. The problem runs a lot deeper than the timeless child retcon, however, as revealed in a recent interview with composer Sigwin Equinola. Right, I want to actually say it doesn't run a lot deeper, the music, than the timeless child retcon. Again, I can see what you're doing here. You are criticizing the music, but you're actually saying, oh, well, the timeless child retcon, however, is not that bad. Like, it's the music that's the problem. Right, let's see what else this moron has to say. Flickering Myth recently asked Aquinola about his approach to composing music for Doctor Who classic monsters, and the responses were fascinating. Surprisingly, Aquinola chose not to look back at any previous episodes for inspiration. In musical terms, it's just a blank slate, he explained. Yes, the Cybermen are coming back, but it's a blank slate and they're going to have a new theme. Even Captain Jack has a new theme. Well, we don't want Captain Jack to have a new theme. We don't want the Cybermen to have a new theme. They have their fucking themes. The problem is that this approach removes any sense of musical continuity between the age of the previous composer Murray Gold and his successor. But it was done deliberately, you see, because Chris Chibnall is a moron and wanted his series to be something, his era to be something like that never came before. Well, he has succeeded. Aquinola is treating Doctor Who as though it's a brand new series. It's not. It's a over 50-year-old franchise and it has to be treated as such. As though he has no lessons to learn from the recent past. The same appears to be true of Chris Chibnall himself. See, this is what this boils down to, right? No matter, this article's all flashy, but you know what it boils down to? It's as simple as this. Aquinola, Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker, his production team, the whole lot of them are a bunch of lazy morons. That's what it is. They're just lazy, right? They don't want to do the research. This is what this means. They don't want to do the research. They don't want to bother doing any research because doing research actually takes a bit of effort and they don't want to put the effort in. You know, it's being handed to them all on a plate. Chibnall, Whittaker, Aquinola, his production team, because his writing staff, look at them. They're all, some of them are inexperienced. You know, some of them, it's their first job, real serious job. You know, this is what this is. This is just a platform for people, and they don't give a crap. In truth, Chibnall doesn't seem to have been willing to learn anything from Davis and the Moffat eras. The Timeless Child retcon fits with classic Who, but not modern. No, it doesn't. The Timeless Child retcon does not fit in anywhere, which makes sense given it was an idea Chibnall came up with when growing up watching the original series in 1980. Although the production value of Doctor Who has never been better in visual terms, the pace of the episodes has slowed. Countless scenes take place in static shots, with the dynamism of Davis' relaunch forgotten. And yet, for all that the case, Chibnall is clearly ambitious to permanently transform the franchise. Well, he's not trying to transform the franchise. He hasn't got a clue what he's feckin' doing, and he's just winging it as he goes along. This is the fundamental problem with this approach. It forgets an entire generation of fans, of course it does, fell in love with Doctor Who through Davis and the Moffat's era, but don't forget those fans of the classic era that also loved the Davis and Moffat era. I hate the way they do these articles. They always seem to leave out the classic fans. And the show will only succeed so long as these viewers keep on tuning in, and the classic fans and the normies. Yes, it is fine for a showrunner and a composer to want to make their own mark and create something unique. I agree. But there is also a need to the sense of continuity. I agree wholeheartedly. Audiences love Doctor Who, not anymore. But that means people have their own ideas what Doctor Who should look like and sound like. If you forget that, you simply irritate people and get them changing channel. And that's what's happened. 7 million households have changed the channel. In fairness, this was supposed to be about Aquinola, and it is a little bit, a couple of lines there, but this is definitely a dig at Chibnall as well. And it is, again, though, you know, this article is trying to say as well that it's not actually the Timeless Child retcon that the problem is. It's the music and everything else that's around it. Remember, you're seeing a lot of this. They're always going to defend the Timeless Child no matter what, right? And they'll do all these articles and they will mention the Timeless Child in reference to how good the Timeless Child has been for the show and for canon and all of this rubbish, right? That's the bottom line, folks. This is what these articles are all designed to do. I tell you, BBC must be bleeding a lot of money, you know, paying all these shills. Because, you know, I mean, the amount of garbage that's coming out from them is unbelievable, right? So that's that article. And I think we'll just see now if there's any more, one more to read, and then we're gonna leave it for that. Me and Lee will have I'm gonna do lower decks on what day is it today? What day is it today? What day is it today?
Monday, August 31st.
Thank you. Yeah, so Wednesday I'll fit that in. Thank you. I said it like 3 times, love.
Well, I don't listen
Are you zoned out?
I don't listen to you.
All right, she zoned out completely. She did. Like, Jesus.
It's the anniversary of Princess Diana's death.
Is it? Oh, is it? It's the anniversary of Princess Diana's death and all the madness that surrounded it. Yeah. I still don't get that, to be quite honest with you. Like, I know it was sad and all, and I get that, but I still don't get the public's. It was public's reaction. They even doctors or psycho or experts have come up with a name for it. But yeah. So Christopher Eccleston, Guardian, 2 weeks ago, Radio Times, What Culture. See, this is what I'm saying. There is nothing. It's mostly all the articles that we've been getting lately. Screen Rant seem to be leading the way with Doctor Who articles. These last couple of months. They always have. They seem to have 1 or 2 articles a day on Doctor Who, and it's always something that a companion shouldn't have done, or a classic doctor shouldn't have done, or it's always slating something, and then it inserts. Always comes back to the timeless child. So unfortunately, there is no good news. There won't be good news in this fandom or good news in Doctor Who again until Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker are gone. And then you might actually start getting some good news. But you're not going to get it as long as they're here. You're not going to get much information as long as they're here. Doctor Who magazine is suffering because of Chibnall. Listen, Chris Chibnall does not care about Doctor Who. He never has and never will. Now, people say, but he was a fan. Yeah, look how he spoke to Pip and Jane Baker. Look at his contempt, right? He doesn't like Doctor Who, okay? He may have been a fan, but he has a vendetta, right? He didn't like the way the show went, right? He didn't like the direction the show was going in. Do you remember he said it was all about running down corridors and it was boring and all this? And that's exactly what he gave us. He gave us exactly what he criticised Pip and Jane Baker for giving us. Except with Pip and Jane Baker, it's at least they tried to entertain us. This man is trying to bore us to death. Right? Simple as that. So this man is responsible for the downfall of Doctor Who. This man should be held accountable, and this man, in fairness, does not care about Doctor Who, because if he did, he wouldn't be writing that rubbish. He wouldn't have he wouldn't have took the show after refusing to take the show when he was offered it the last time. If this guy truly didn't want to do it, he shouldn't have took the job. It's as simple as that. And the fact that he turned it down the first time, they offered it to him a second time and he took it, BBC should have been worried right away. They should have been worried right away. Why was he going to take the job the second time after turning it down the first time? And don't give me this, he didn't feel that it was the right time. He told people that are closest to him, even Moffat actually relates to it. He didn't want to take jobs. Too big of a show. He doesn't want it. It's a juggernaut and he knows it is. And he's way over his head. Right? Way over his head. Just like everybody else that's on that show is way over their head. Thanks be to God, Bradley Walsh and Tolson Cole got out before their careers were irreversibly damaged. In fairness, though, Bradley Walsh, for me, out of the whole lot of them, is going to be okay and grand because he has the chase and he has other stuff and he genuinely is a lovely man and everybody likes him and he's a national treasure in the UK. He is. If he's not, he should be, because to me he is. He's funny. He's just everything about him. And Tolson Cole, as I said, is going to be a star. He is going to be a huge star. He has a cop show, hopefully, there when this madness slows down, they go back to film, and I don't know if it's already filmed, but he's doing a cop show in America. You're going to see the acting ability of Tolson Cole. There's even a couple of characters that were in Doctor Who that are in the Umbrella Academy that he had in Doctor Who, Chibnall had in Doctor Who, and in the Umbrella Academy, we hated them in Doctor Who, and when we seen them in the Umbrella Academy, 10 times the actor or actress that they were on Doctor Who. It goes to show you when you actually have decent writing and you actually, encourage your actors and actresses, and give them the material they need, then it can work. Chris Chibnall does none of that. And this is why this era has failed, and this is why it will continue to fail until all of us as fans, it doesn't matter what side of the argument you're on, all of us as fans need to come out and start speaking out against Chris Chibnall and his team's writing. It is absolutely disgraceful, and he has ruined and destroyed over half a century of Doctor Who canon, and he can't be allowed to continue to destroy it any further. And for all you Jodie Whittaker fans that were celebrating by this retcon, right, and we're celebrating the fact that long-term fans were devastated, I hope you have had time to think, and I hope you realise what you have helped in support. You have supported this, so by supporting you have helped it. I hope you are ashamed of yourselves, because you should be. You should be. Because this could have been an easy fix. You could have put Chris Chibnall on the straight and narrow and come out and complained like us during Series 11, and he would have made more changes than he made during Series 12, and we wouldn't have got any of this nonsense. But you chose to stick by him, stick by Jodie Whittaker, and this is the result. So as I said, you've won nothing. All you've helped do is destroy over half a century of Doctor Who canon. And you know what? Some of you in the fandom, that was your plan. Congratulations. But to the rest of you that are just blindly following idiots, I'll say to you guys, there's still a window of opportunity to turn this all around. If you all start coming out and complaining about how he has disrespected Doctor Who, how he has disrespected Jodie Whittaker by not giving her decent scripts, right? When you fans start coming out and complaining about that, we might actually get somewhere. But as I said, you have a window of opportunity. Listen, you can make season 13 better than what we know it's going to be, right? If you all pipe up now, right? Because they haven't started filming yet, right? So this is you could actually, Chris Chibnall says he doesn't listen to critics or reviews. He does. Look at Spyfall. He put a line in there, right? Because we were all, with the upgrade, right? That was a direct dig at classic Who fans and fans that had a problem with this era. Chris Chibnall does read the critics, right? He does read the criticism, right? So he could say he doesn't. He's a liar, right? Everybody wants to know what people are saying about them. And trust me, you people that engage in behaviour that bullies people, and then when people say something about you guys, you mean to tell me you wouldn't want to know what these people are saying? Of course you do. You seek it out, just like he did, right? So he knows that fans are not happy with this. And the only reason why he's not doing that, because he's pandering to idiots like you, and you idiots are happy. Whereas you've come out and said he isn't happy the way he treats LGBTQ plus characters. 20 seconds, he kills off a gay man in resolution of the Daleks. And the only reason why he did it was because he was ticking that inclusion box. He needs to tick that inclusion box and that diversity box, and that's the only reason why he did it. He didn't even give that character, that actor even, the courtesy of a decent story arc, or at least a few lines and a few more minutes on the TV screen. No, he thought it appropriate at 20 seconds. 20 seconds. And I've also been informed that there's been other characters from the LGBTQ plus community that have been in this current era And there was another one, a lady who was also killed after coming out and saying that she had a girlfriend or she was in a bisexual relationship. It's the same. This is not diversity and inclusion. This is quite simply box ticking, because if it was diversity and inclusion, as I said, these characters that he's trying to insert into this era would be given decent lines, they'd be given a decent character arc, and in some cases, like Captain Jack, they would be reoccurring characters. That's why we love Captain Jack and RTD, especially because when he did do these characters, he didn't just bring Captain Jack in as a fly in the pan. Right? He brought Captain Jack in, John Barrowman in, because he had a plan. Because he had a plan for that character and he wanted to portray this character a certain way, and he did. When Chris Chibnall brought him back, look what Chris Chibnall did. He brought him back for a 2-minute scene, because you can't have Captain Jack on the screen for any more than that, because Chris Chibnall has ticked off his box for that series. That's all he's ever done, and that's all he'll ever do. And until you guys come out and demand that characters like these, right, are treated with the utmost respect and are given the dialogue and the character arcs that they deserve and the stories that they deserve, well, then you're not going to get true inclusion or diversity. It's always going to be box ticking. And with that, I am going to say good night to you all. I know it was just me tonight. We actually got a good audience tonight, believe it or not. I have noticed when I stream on my own, actually, I do seem to get a little bit more of attention because it's just me. And we know why that is, don't we? They tune in. They say they hate me, but they tune in. They say I'm obsessed, but they tune in and listen to me. They retweet me tweets, and I'm the obsessive one. I'm not obsessive. The thing about it is that you guys are, and you have a problem with me because I have a different opinion, just like most of my friends do, and that upsets you. Well, that's never going to stop, because that's what fandom is all about, and it's happening in every piece of fandom out there. We see it with the Star Wars fandom, the Trek fandom. It's happening anywhere. It's not just exclusive to Doctor Who, but there is fans like you that just cannot accept that we all have a mind of our own, and we might have a different opinion to use. And if we upset the apple cart, then you's go and resort to cancel culture, name calling, and basically setting up accounts just to harass people. And by the way, you said in one tweet, well, Noel has never asked me to stop. Imagine saying that. So you're basically saying, I never asked you to stop screen grabbing. I think I have plenty of times. You just haven't, it just hasn't got through your head, you moron. And you even had a discussion with one of my panelists that told you what you're doing dehumanizes people, but you just don't get it. So, you can continue to do what you do. You won't last long on Twitter. As I said, Twitter might be a bit slow, but the account has been reported, and I can say it's been reported hundreds of times now at this stage. So, because what you're doing is wrong, you are deliberately, even some on your own side have said, you're deliberately trying to start something, when we fans, all we want to do is we just want to move on. Watch our last season. We get our show back in a couple of years' time anyway, because the residue of Chibnall's era will always take another year after he's gone to get rid of it fully, right? But we'll get this show back. So, at the end of the day, as I said, you've actually won nothing. All you did was basically facilitate in destroying the show, and you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. And if you think that I'm gonna, if you think for 1 second that any of us are going to back down in our opinions because you've decided and your friends have decided to screenshot all of our tweets and put them up. And by the way, when you do that, you do send people to our accounts Again, this was pointed out to you, but you don't seem to want to listen. So, you keep calling us toxic, but you're the one that's actually helping spreading the toxicity, because what you're doing is you're encouraging fans on the other side. You might be doing it out straight, but when you put those tweets up, you're encouraging fans that support you to come onto our Twitter accounts and then start harassing us, right? So if you don't feel sorry about that, I'm not going to feel sorry about the stuff that's going to be coming your way, to be honest, because at the end of the day, if you're going to engage in that behavior, I'm not going to apologize for defending myself anymore. No more. And, and the people out there, and the people in the chat that you've even highlighted in your tweets, they're not going to back down from Twitter either. We're not going anywhere. Get used to it. Yous will be gone before we'll be gone anyway. Believe me, we've been around a long, long time. And by the way, you say, fans out there say, well, we're not true fans. Listen, I sat through 2 seasons of Jodie Whittaker's era. I'm more of a fan than you will ever be, because I sat through that rubbish. I slept through that rubbish. I reviewed that rubbish, right? So don't ever accuse me or any other person of not being fans when we actually sat through this pile of horse manure, right? 2 seasons of it, right? I've watched it since it's been back on screen. Haven't missed a season. A series. Sorry. Haven't missed a series. Includes Whittaker's era. Haven't even missed a special. Right? So don't say I'm not a true fan or we're not true fans. We sat through this mess. Reviewed it. Put it out there. Let people know what was really going on with this show. Right? More of a fan you'll ever be, because I'll still stick around. Even Jordan, see, here's the thing, here's the difference, right? When it starts going all pear-shaped, right, you guys will actually live and move on to a different show. We've been through 3 years of hell, and I'm still here as a fan. That is the difference. We will stick around because we know it will get better. We know, and that's what being a fan is. We mightn't like a current era. It doesn't make us stop being Doctor Who fans and loving something. And with that, I'm going to leave you all. Have a good night. Look after yourselves. And listen, everybody in the chat as well, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. I really do appreciate you all. You know I do. Without you guys, I wouldn't even be on YouTube. So I want to thank you all, because you know what? Your support has meant the world to me. These last couple of months, especially with all the drama that's been going on Twitter, I wouldn't have been able to get through all that if I hadn't got you guys supporting me. The people in the chat that have come on to panels, the guests that I've had on, yous have all been absolutely wonderful towards me and my wife. I will never forget everything that I've done on this. I truly won't. I'll never forget the friends that I've made. And, moving on into the future, I hope there's a day where we're on this channel and we'll be all sitting here laughing, joking, smiling, crying, whatever it is, absolutely enjoying the wonderful show that was Doctor Who again, because I absolutely love this show. It's meant the world to me. It saved me life, and to see it in such a state has really, really broke me. It's broke me heart. I'm broken-hearted. I haven't stopped being broken-hearted. Gary from Neurotics is broken-hearted. You could still hear it in his voice. I am absolutely devastated. These kids don't know, don't understand, and never will understand. They will actually laugh at this part of the video because they just don't get it. But at the end of the day, when you've invested so much time, energy, it's not even the money, emotional, so much of myself into this. As I said, this show saved me life. To see it go down the pan the way it has been the worst thing that's ever that I've ever seen happen to something that I love. And look, there's no greater pain than loss, and I have felt like I have lost Doctor Who, and I haven't gotten over that. But one day, and that's what keeps me going, is one day this show will come back to greatness. One day we will have a showrunner that will care. We will have a person in the role that cares, a person that will do everything necessary to actually win over all fans. Listen, we want Doctor Who to be for everybody. Make no mistake about it. We want Doctor Who to be for everybody. But under Chris Chibnall, it's not. Until Doctor Who is for everybody, then it's going to continue to go where it's going. And with that, I'm going to leave you. Good night. I'll see you all very soon. I hope you actually enjoyed it. And as I said, without you guys, I wouldn't even be here as much as I am. So I want to thank you all very, very much for all the support, the super chats, all the comments, all the messages on Twitter, Messenger, YouTube, even on my public post, my community post, Parlour, wherever you are, wherever I've had contact with you on social media, I want to thank every single one of you. You have been an absolute, seriously, your support has been absolutely amazing, and I'll never forget it. Seriously, it's the one thing that keeps me going on this channel, and I love you all for it. So thank you, and I'll see you all soon. We'll have a panel on Wednesday. Obviously, we'll do a panel on Wednesday. I had my little knacker today, so we'll have a panel on Wednesday. Also, I'm going to try squeeze in. We will actually, if Lee, if you're still in the chat, we definitely, if you're free Wednesday, we're definitely going to get Lower Decks done. If Lee can't join me Wednesday, I will try get another guest on, or I'll just do it myself. It doesn't make a difference, but I'm pretty sure Lee will be able to make it if he hasn't double booked. You know what Lee is like. He likes to book himself out, or as he says, whore himself out. So if he hasn't whored himself out, we'll get him on. I'll get into trouble for that one now off the J-Bots. Right, here's the trailer. Good night, Lee. Let me know if you could do Wednesday. I see you get someone else, eh? I said, yeah, if you can't do it, obviously. Like, are you getting lippy with me in the chat? Thank you. That's it, Lee. When Father comes on the next time, I'm going to get him to do your confession. Right? That's it now. You're getting lippy. I'm going to have a war with Father now. You're going to be saying your Hail Marys and your Our Fathers and all of that. Yeah? Good night, folks. Good night, Lee, you legend. Good night, National Treasure. Good night, Super John and all my moderators and everybody in the chat. See you tomorrow. Well, oh no, Wednesday. I nearly slipped up there, said tomorrow. She'll kill me. Wednesday. See you. Bye-bye.